Yeah. Okay, the quiz is done. As I mentioned, today we're having a crash course, literally a crash course, because we're going to do super quickly how you might create a website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You will have enough time to get the basics done, and then the first assignment is here to help you get up to speed before we get to doing and implementing visualizations. Is there anyone who does not have a Visual Studio Code installed? Okay. The silence tells me that we're all good. Everyone has it. So I'm going to start. Before we start, in general, we are looking at this structure. We're going to learn about HTML, CSS, and sort of JavaScript. And we want to learn how these relate to each other. Am I sharing my screen? Is everything okay? Because last time I've done these cases. Okay, sounds good. So HTML gives you the structure of a website. Basically, you're telling a browser what content is going to be in your web page. By content, it's very specifically title, paragraph, text, a division, I don't know, like image, all of these things that are types of content and how they're structured together is defined by HTML. So if we want to make sure structure is HTML, okay? So we're going to link structure to this. Done. What did I do? Okay. So CSS is going to tell the browser how this page should look like. So this is styles and feel and how things look. This is what CSS is going to be. Okay? And then JavaScript, which is a programming language, makes content dynamic and interactive. Okay? So JavaScript is what makes everything like super interesting and just dynamic. Basically, the reason we're addicted to social media, the reason we're just addicted to internet is because of JavaScript. Because it allows you to bring dynamic data to websites. Older years of internet, like JavaScript was minimal. Now you can do all sorts of things. Okay? So we're gonna figure out how to do things in here. These, if you want to know how these in general work, basically, when you create a website, you create most times 3 files, right? And when someone opens a browser, okay, so let's assume that this is Chrome, Safari, etc. You open it and then you type in this browser, hey, go to code.visualstudio.com. What you're doing is you're sending a request. Man, my keyboard is all sorts of crazy today. Okay? You're sending a request to a server. Okay? You're sending a request to a server, and the server then says, oh, here's the content and the styles and the things you need to be able to render this website. So basically the server will send this from the server to the browser, these files, and then you're able to see a website. Okay, this is generally how things work. So this is going to be a server, and this is going to be the client. This is generally the case. It's important to know this because later you might be able to use this knowledge to do more specific things. But just to show you how things look in general, that this is actually the case, as you can see, you can, here we have a bunch of different files that are sent to the browser. So this is, if I say the page source, you can see this is just an HTML document. It's like code. And then these are like the CSS stuff. And these are like the JavaScript stuff. They're all here. And then they are together for you to be able to see this nice interactive website. Okay, this was the basic intro for us, and I was just trying to give you time to figure things out as well to make a website work. Okay, before we get started, we need a few things. In Visual Studio Code, you go to extensions and open your, this is a live coding session, so I want you all to code with me. The reason we're here is to do, for you to do some hands-on work. And trust me, I know you might feel like this is pointless and your AI agents can create this. This knowledge that you learn here helps you be able to ask AI better, more specifically what you want. Instead of say, hey, AI, make me a website, you can say, hey, AI, make me the specific HTML thing, and you can tell it to make it work the way you want it to be. And trust me, it's going to be needed if you actually want to be able to make good things. You need to be able to know what you're asking systems to do. So open the extensions, and I'll want you to install Live Server. Live Server. Okay? Search for Live Server and install it. We're here to respond to your question. This is a lab session, so feel free to ask questions. Optional, you can install Prettier Code Formatter. And that'll be good for you to do code formatting. I'm waiting, giving you. Is there anyone who does not have the extensions installed? Okay, I want you to follow instructions now. So go back to this Explorer section. Click on this new file. Oh, before that, just create a new folder for your files. The folder can be, I don't know, a website or something, whatever you can call it. Just make a new folder. Call it something. I'm just going to call it in class. For me, it's in my desktop. I can just drag it. And if it's, you can just click on File, click on Open Folder, and then find the folder that you created. So I'm just going to go to Desktop and then click on In Class and click on Open. Then you might ask you to trust the authors. You're going to trust it because you created it. And now you have the folder open. Also, I want you all to follow this because at the end of the class, there's going to be a submission just for the work that you're doing in class. So let us know if you can, because this is very essential for your homeworks. Okay, so click here on this Add File button, and then say index.html. Create a file, all lowercase, call it index.html. Can you all see the coding, the browser, like the VS Code? Can you read properly? Okay. For now, I'm gonna get rid of. No, this is good. I'm just gonna make the fig jam smaller. Okay. Now hit Shift and exclamation point. Just click on the first one. It just will put a boilerplate HTML code for you. You don't need to type. So it will create a basic HTML file. For now, I want you to just type hello where I'm between the two body things. I'm going to explain what we're doing immediately. I just want to make sure that you all see this in the browser. So just type hello, and if you want, just type world as well to be nerdy. And then click on go live, just like I did. And you should see a page like this, and you should see hello world rendered. Okay. Did you see the press shift and exclamation? So basically, if it's empty, if you hold shift and 1, shift and 1, it'll give you a boilerplate empty HTML. And then you can click on go live because you've installed a live server. And if you click on go live, it should open up in your Chrome. And then under between these two body things, type hello world. And then you should see it here. Can everyone see hello world in their browser? Awesome. So I have not seen a no here. Should be good. I'll give it 10 more seconds. Okay. So what is this? Well, stands for Hypertext Markup Language, HTML. It's a language, it's a markup language, and it's the standard for creating web pages. As I mentioned, it describes the structure of a web page, and it consists of a series of elements. As I mentioned, it tells the browser how to display the content, how the content is structured. Okay, so the way the elements are shown in a browser are with these tags. So head is an element, body is an element, HTML is an element. Okay, I want you to be familiar with this vocabulary. The elements are drawn using opening and closing tags. So let's say I want to make a paragraph. This is how I make it, and Visual Studio Code will make it for me. So it'll be less than, P, greater than, and then some empty space, and then again less than, then this is slash, I believe, P, and then closing tag. And this is how you make a paragraph. And then inside of the paragraph, you will have the content of that element, which is hello world. You can now put it inside of a paragraph, and you'll see it hasn't changed, but there is a difference. For the browser, now the HTML is telling the browser this is a paragraph. If you want to have a heading like an H1, my name is Alireza Karduni. This is telling the browser that this is a heading. So this element is communicating something to the browser. It's telling it that this is a heading. Similarly, it's telling that the title of this page is my personal website. So it's telling it that this is the title of the web page. The head element is essential. You want to always have it. It contains metadata, meta information about the page. This doc type tells the page, the browser, that this is an HTML5 document. You don't really need to know that, but you always do this. And this is called the root element of the page. So everything is inside it. These are all children of the HTML element. We speak in terms of parents and children when we talk about HTML, because things are nested, okay? Things that are nested inside of something are the children of that something. So H1 and P are the children of body. Most elements can accept children. Some elements do not, like they cannot make children or something. You can think of it like that. So H1 and P are the children of body, and body is a child of HTML, which is the root element. Any questions? The way we describe these is that this is a start tag, this is the end tag, and this is the content of the element. If the content was another element, then we call that a child. So start tag, end tag, and the content. Most elements have start tags or end tags. Most elements, some elements don't. For example, you have an element like a BR that does not have an end tag and it does not have any content. It just creates a breaking point. So it just creates like an empty space in the page. It does not have any content. It just creates a break. Okay? In terms of knowing what an HTML is, you already know how it works. You have a starting tag, you have an end tag, and you have content. I'm going to teach you the rest of it as we move forward. So we have 6 types of headings. So we have H1, we have H2 till H6. See, this is a smaller because this is another type of heading. Now I'm going to teach you about one of the most important elements in the internet or on the internet, a link. How you how you click on something and it takes you to another website that is with an anchor tag. An anchor tag, let's just start with nothing, A, and a closing tag of A. This is an anchor tag, okay? The anchor tags need something. Inside of the opening tag, you need to have an href attribute. The things that have a start, like the value, the name, and the value equals something. This is called an attribute. Okay? The way this works is that you can say, you can put a website link here. And then at the content, you can say, take me to Google. You can put whatever text you want, and this becomes a link. And then you click on it, and then it'll take you to Google. That's how links work. Attributes are important. This is how a lot of the things are made. Another important element is image. Image is like this. It needs a source. So how does the source work? I'm just going to go images.google.com. Look for Luffy. Then I'm just going to save image. And you find an image for yourself as well. I'm just going to save it inside of the folder. Now, this is a WebP. Should be fine, but you can get a JPEG or an PNG. Let me just get a PNG, make it simpler. Okay. I'll call it Luffy. Save. So I got a JPEG. And all I'm going to do is just going to say for now, Luffy.jpg. As you can see, an image does not have a closing tag. It's just this one opening tag. And now, as you can see, we are seeing that image inside of our website as well. There are other tags that can work, so you can create an alt, because this is alternative information. This is for just accessibility, so you can say this is a picture of Luffy. You can also define the width, make the image larger, or you can define the width and make it smaller. And then you can also define the height and make the image all weird if you want. You can stretch it, and so on and so forth. Okay? So let's take a minute for you guys to have a link and an image in your page. Let me know if you all have it. You good? Thumbs up. Perfect. All right, so we did the image. What else? Give me a moment. I have a list of things that I need to, basically my cheat sheet. Okay. So we know about elements and how tags work. We know about attributes. You need to remember that the attribute is inside the opening tag and is basically, it has this name of the attribute and the value for that attribute. And there's an equal between it. And you can have multiple attributes, just like this one. Source is one attribute, alt is one attribute, and then width is another for the image tag. This is the name, this is the value. You're going to be thinking about this when you do JavaScript. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of other important HTML elements. One of them is a list. A list looks like this. This is an ordered list, and you can have multiple elements within it. So my first one piece, DK, and monster, and then no result. No, and then, okay? So this is a list. It's an ordered list, meaning it gets numbers. You can also have an unordered list. UL, an on or a bulleted list. So you can say laptop, I don't know, IoT 355, IoT 235, and I don't know, IoT 814 are the courses that I teach with no particular order. Okay, here's two of the elements that you will likely use. Another important element that you will use is a div. Div essentially is a container of other elements, so you can just put them together. It's very useful for organization, so you can put two headings within one division. It's not going to look differently, but if I click on inspect, which will show me the source of this website, I can see that now this H1 and H2 are within this one div. Later with CSS, you're going to learn how things work. Okay, we're good. I believe in terms of knowing the basics of HTML, this is it. You have now learned how to do HTML. The rest is just learning about structures and some important concepts. One of the important concepts is that some elements have meanings. Okay? Meanings that are meaningful to the outside world. For example, an image, a table, and an article, these are semantic elements because it's clear what they're going to have. You have a bunch of semantic elements that are very important to use. I'm going to send you a list of these and show you a list of these inside of our FigJam. Article, aside, detail, fig caption, figure, footer, header, main, mark, nav, section, summary. You will use some of these. These are really important, especially for accessibility reasons, because they will tell screen readers, for example, what the content is. It is very important for you to use something like this. So for example, here, maybe this is the project section of your page, in your page that you're making an assignment, or about me section, and then you can just have everything inside of this one section instead of a div. It works like a div, but it's, I don't know, it needs to be meaningful. So you can have an introduction, you can have chapters, you can have contact information, news information, things that are meaningful, right? Or if you have a blog post, you can use the article. Okay? Perfect. So that's another important thing for you to learn. All right. So we're now getting to styling. This is where things get interesting and also a bit more complicated, because this is where most of the things that you will need to remember lies. The first thing that you can learn about styling is that you can style elements directly with the style attributes. And the way that works, you can say color, and then you can say, I don't know, chocolate. And with that, I don't know what kind of chocolate looks like this, but this is the chocolate color, because for me, chocolates are way more dark. I don't know. This is apparently chocolate. So with the style and then giving the property and then the value, this is now inside of this style is CSS. We're going to start learning CSS very soon. But just know that this is a property. You're gonna, when you're gonna look things up, or when you ask questions from ChatGPT, it's gonna use these terms. This is a property and this is value. It's basically property, colon, and then value. Okay? Elements can have multiple styles. The way you put multiple styles is with a semicolon, and then you can just say font weight, and then you can make it bold. It was already bold, you can make it non-bold if you want. You can make it semi-bold. All right, so semicolon. Are we good? Were you able to color the text? Nice. Perfect. Okay, so another thing that you can do, maybe you want to add font family, and then you want to say, I don't know, some, and you can change the font, so on and so forth. Okay, now that you did learn how to use styles inline or use as a style attribute, I want you to basically almost unlearn it, because you will almost never use this. Okay? In some cases you will use this, but for the basics of HTML and CSS, for now, what you want to do is another way of doing things. But you just need to know that this style attribute exists. So delete it, and then create a file, call it style.css. Okay? This is an external CSS. You will be using external CSS in this class, mostly, until told otherwise, or until you learned enough expertise to decide that you now want to use inline for some reason. The way you set up external style is in the head of your HTML page, you will go and link, you're linking, and then the rel is style sheet, and the href will be styles.css. So you will give the name of the file. Now your HTML page is linked with the style page. So what you can do is very similar to the inline, but a little bit different. So you can say you will use the name of the element as a selector. The way CSS works is you will select an element in your HTML, in your page, and then you tell it what the style should be. So let's try selecting all H1s in this page and making the style different. The way you select something, you say H1, and then you open and close curly brackets. And then inside of it is basically just like an inline CSS. You can go color is chocolate, semicolon, font family is sans serif. As you can see, the style is changed again. So if I see this is black and now I save this and I see that I am able to change the style of an element using external CSS. Everyone got the external CSS working? How are we doing? Good? We asked the line that connects the two. It's like this. The way you link the CSS to the HTML is in the head. You will have a link tag that looks like this. It has a rel and it has an href. Generally, when you want to create a tag, I want to create it again. In Visual Studio Code, you just type link and you hit enter and it will type it for you. And then you will type styles.css. You should use a lot of tabs. Go back on the index file. Yes, I am here now. How does it look? You got it? Anyone having problems? Okay. Let's take a 3-minute break. We'll be back. Just take a break. My brain hurts. We're going to continue with CSS. The class goes till 8:20, right? Okay. I'm back. Before we start, do you guys want a 1-day extension for your assignment? How many people want it? Okay. Okay, good. There's one person who says no. You can submit today for sure. You don't need to, yeah, you can give it to you. Your TA is very nice. I'm not as nice. Or is it the other way around? I don't know. But the TA just told me that you might need it. It's okay. So you can have until tomorrow night. Brandon, Farsi? Because we also say merci in Farsi. But you said, were you doing French or Farsi? Merci. But in Farsi, we say merci. So, man, I don't know y'all will be this happy. Every assignment will get a 1-day extension. If you guys are this happy, we'll just get a blanket statement. I'm just joking. This is a rare event. Yeah, 1-day extension is good. Yes, I've seen Black Clover. I haven't finished it, but I've seen it. Let's talk about anime later. We have a lot to cover today. Also, tomorrow we're gonna have a lecture, just like almost every week, Tuesdays, we're gonna have a lecture. All right. Oh, okay, that was a good break. My brain was being fried. Okay, so we learned about external CSS. Is everyone up to being able to make this header chocolate? We good? Okay. People are now happy. They'll be sending memes and stuff for that 1-day extension. This is crazy. What is this one of the What is this guy's? What is this guy called? ICSP. Speed. Cool. Yeah, he's funny. Cool. Yeah. Isn't he the guy who did like a whole, what's that game called? Marathon Elden Ring? He's the one, right? Or no, am I mistaken? Oh, was that Carlson? I'm being racist? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Speed. They look like each other. Yeah, don't clip me on this. Don't say racist stuff. Sorry. This is not Twitch. This is a class with actual ramifications, and this is a university. So yeah, stop with that. And I'm sorry for even don't send memes. Anyway, let's continue, guys. Let's continue. Okay. Where were we? CSS. CSS. Okay. Let me bring back my cheat sheet. Okay. So you learn how to do the CSS. CSS has a lot of different actual properties, like it's a lot, right? So we're going to look at some of the important ones, but most importantly is this, how to actually use CSS. So you have different kinds of selectors when you do CSS. Okay? This is called an element selector. The element selector is when you just use the name of a type of element. And then basically what is going to happen is all H1s or all elements of that name are going to be selected. Another H1. So both of these will be chocolate and sans serif. Okay? So this is how this one works. Any H1 will be selected. Okay? So the element selector is useful for things that you want to select, like all paragraphs. You want to be, I don't know, color should be dark gray, like slate gray. Okay? And now if we have, let's make it something visible, red. So all paragraphs will be colored like that. Okay? Now, we're going to go back to HTML because we have two attributes that we did not discuss. These two attributes are extremely important. Okay? One is the ID tag, and the other is the class tag. We're going to start with the class tag. The class tag, the class attribute is like this. And you give it a name, and you're going to say titles. Anything that is basically a class of items, you can include it. So then you can have two groups of titles, and then you can say another set of titles, another H1, and then BBB. Okay? Now we have elements that have the class of titles. The way you select them is with a dot and then the name of that class. Okay? And then here you go color equals teal. You see that? Now, if you get rid of this H1 CSS, all the elements within the division or within the div that have the class of titles will have the color teal. So this is how you do this, right? And then you can also give, let's say, padding to this element. And you can give it a padding of 10 pixels. Or you can give it a padding of, I don't know, 150 pixels. See how these elements are now gotten padding? And let me show you how paddings look. See, all this green area is the padding of this element now. So you can have 15 pixel padding. Okay, you can also give it a background color of light gray, right? So now these elements both have, and then you can give it a border. I'm showing you some important white, solid, 2 pixels. So now your element will have white borders as well. Then you can just say, you can also make your borders rounded by using border radius. And then you can make it 10%, I believe. Becomes very ugly. So you can just use 10 pixels as well. You will have now rounded corners. See how you're able to quickly change style of multiple things together? That's the power of CSS. And usually that is done with classes. Now, another very important selector is the ID selector. So if I have a main headline for your website called, I don't know, H1, you can give it an ID of main headline. And then you can select it with a hashtag. And then you can say color should be, is, I don't know, red. You might ask, why are we doing this? Why are we using the ID selector? ID is used to select specific elements. You can only use ID for one element. Specific is really important. It's only for one thing. The title, the sidebar, the things that are only one, the unique things that you can name in your website are selected using IDs. So you can give them an ID and then you can style them specifically. Maybe you have some unique element in your website. That's how you do things. I'm just going through my list to see what I should cover for CSS. There are 2 important concepts that I will not cover tonight, but will send you either, Mehdi will teach it to you one of these days during this week, or we'll send you extra videos from YouTube because they're important for your website. One of them is just how do you size things, different ways of sizing things. That's a really important topic. And the other is just flex. CSS flex is a very powerful way of organizing content within a page that's important to learn for your website and for your projects, but not today. This, up till now, we've learned the basics of CSS. So you should remember element selectors, class selectors, ID selectors. There's other ways of selecting groups of things that you can look up. But for now, this is enough for CSS. So now the next thing that I want you to do is to create a new file and call it script.js. We're going to get a quick introduction to JavaScript, the quickest introduction to JavaScript possible. I'm not going to show you how to do in-page HTML script, but just below your body, you can have an HTML script tag. Or you can even have it outside of everything like this. So after your body, you can have a script tag. You can technically write your JavaScript here, but I want you to say source and then say script.js. And then you're going to say type text JavaScript. You can skip the type, but it's good to include it. Now inside of it, type this so that you can see whether it's working or not. The moment the page opens, you should see this hello alert. pop up in your page. If you see that, type yes. Very good. I'm proud of you guys. You guys are amazing. Now try something else as well. Console.log, hello, the script is working, and then get rid of the alert. And this is how you print things in the console. Click on inspect, click on console, and you should see this text printed. Do you all see it? Okay. And then the very basic thing that we can do is in JavaScript, you can do something interesting. You can select elements and put them in a variable. So let's see if we can do that. You can say titles, let's titles equals document dot query selector. And then you're going to use a dot because you're selecting using a class selector. That's it. And then let's just do console.log titles and see if you see it. Inside of your browser, you should be able to hover on it and select the first titles class. Or you can do query selector all, and that'll select all of the titles inside of a list. Boom. I believe then we can just do titles.style dot color equals blue. Maybe we can't do that for a group of title. So we can go titles dot for each. Most of you should have programming background. So this is called a callback function. And then you can go title dot style dot color equals blue. Let's see if this worked. Yeah. So we're just using JavaScript to change the color of the specific element. What else can we do? You can just do titles dot add event listener, and I'm going to explain to you what's happening here. Then you can say click, and then you can say do list alert hello. I'm going to let you type this. I believe I have an accent when I type. Is it not working? Yeah, it don't work. Let's see what's the problem. Oh, we cannot. So this is how we should do this. I made the same mistake. So because we have multiple titles, what you want to do is to add an event listener on each individual one. So you can do the same for loop, and then you can just go title.add event listener, click. Now we're putting this event listener on all of them. Again, let's see if it worked. Yes, it's working. Every time we click, we can see things work. I want you to get to this point while I am explaining. So remember that we have all these elements within HTML. Using JavaScript, basically, when we interact with the website, anything that we do with the keyboard, with the mouse, is called an event. Scrolling, hovering, clicking, these are actions that someone takes on a page. These are called events. So you can have events happen on a page, okay? And then you can listen to these. Listening in JavaScript lingo means that when some of these events happened, call a function. Okay? So when an event happens, you want to call a function. Okay, so this is telling JavaScript that, hey, JavaScript, whenever someone clicked on an element that was of the class title, right, run this function. And what should you do within that function? You should call alert. Or you can do more complicated things. You can say title.style.color equals blue. You can change the color whenever the element is clicked on. See, now I'm changing the content or the style of the page interactively. Any questions? Did you all get this to work? So select all the titles or something, and then put a for loop, and then for each of them, create an event listener, make that a click, and then change the color. Beautiful. Gonna take a couple of minutes. We have about 15 minutes. I want to show you one last thing, which is important for your assignment. Then we will have a video or an extra session where Mehdi will teach you some extra stuff about JavaScript. But this is the basics of JavaScript that you need for the first assignment, I believe. You should be able to have your assignment work just by this. And I'll give you example code as well. Alrighty. Alrighty then. Okay. We are going to learn about SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics. SVG is a very specific type of HTML element. We're going to be working with SVG a lot. So inside of your page, create a new SVG like this. And then here, you're just going to give it a width and a height. I'm going to click and show you that this SVG element exists. Now, this will be an empty SVG canvas. SVG is very useful for drawing shapes because it's like an illustrator within the browser. You can create circles, you can create rectangles. You all know about vector graphics. These are scalable graphics. They're not pixel-based. They're basically computer algorithms. And you can zoom as much as you want. These will not lose quality. So the way you would draw a circle within your SVG is by doing a circle tag. And then you're going to have your elements. You're going to put the X position of your circle at maybe 100, the Y position at maybe 100. You can put the radius at 25. And then you can put the fill at, okay? And then we should be able to draw this here. And then you can duplicate these and maybe put this at 150. You can see we'll now have multiple circles. You can change the size of the second one like this. And then I guess maybe you can make a shape like this. Do some art. I don't know. Are you able to draw those circles? You can draw a rectangle by typing rect. And then rectangles have x's, which can be 200. And then the y can be 200. The width can be 100. The height can be 100. X, Y, width, height, stroke width. So what am I doing wrong? Oh, width is, oh, thank you. Boom. You guys are amazing. All right, so we're now able to draw these. Last thing that I want to show you is that you can basically select the SVG by saying document dot query selector SVG, because this is one. If you have only one SVG element, then you can just select it like this. Let's just print it to be sure that we have selected it. Yes, so we have selected the first SVG element like this with our JavaScript. Then you can use JavaScript to create an element. I'm just using my cheat sheet here, but this is very simple. Create element, and this is something that you need. Just the description of how SVG should work, because for the assignment, you will have to use this. Now we have created a rectangle. Now you can set the attributes, and then you can set the width and the height like this. Am I mistyping something here? And then you can add it to the SVG. So the flow for how you create a new element with JavaScript is basically you select a container. So this is a container. Then you create an element. And I'm showing you how to comment in JavaScript as well. And then after you add that element into the component. And this is how you create one element. Now, if you want to programmatically repeat this, you can essentially create a function that takes x, y, width, height, and fill, and generates a rectangle inside of the SVG. This is something that you should try to get working for your assignment, because what I want you to do is to create two things with SVG. One, again, your assignment will be there, so you can go read it. But I want you to make a bar chart just with SVG by typing it, and then something just creative, like an SVG drawing, anything that you can do, like something fun. And then I want you to try to add interactivity to those as well. Okay, so that's part of your assignment. Am I right? That's part of the assignment, right? Yeah, because I might be too old and senile and not remember what my assignment is. But read it. But here, I think we're done with the basics of what we want to do, but we have 5 more minutes. So code along with this part and let me know if you are able to get this working. And then we're going to figure out a second time for you to have a little bit more JavaScript practice with Mehdi during the week. But yeah, this was the quickest crash course into HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and SVG. These are the essential components for us to make data visualizations in the browser. We're going to be able to do some sort of really cool things later. Any questions? This lab, I will promise to post this lab because it's essential for the assignment by tomorrow noon. How does that sound? I'm slow because I need to make thumbnails for the other videos, but because you have access to last year, the lectures is fine. But this is a better recording that last year's HTML, like it's more organized. So I will post this by tomorrow noon and you can cover it. Thank you. I'm rocking my YouTube game. We were supposed to have it in class, but I took too long. So the class is over. No. I hope you all followed along. I was going to ask you to make some HTML thing and submit a picture, but don't worry about it. Tomorrow night. Tomorrow at like 11:45 or something. I will have Mehdi update. Okay, hope this worked. We will have example codes. Yes, I can scroll up. You will have example codes for creative JavaScript, but don't ask me what type of creative. I want you to do something fun for that creative assignment, right? No more in class today. I took too long. I wanted to have 10 more minutes, but I'd rather teach you the concept as I'm getting in class assignments. So no more in class. I believe this is most of the things that you will need. However, we will post. There's a very important element before you all go. There's Git. GitHub and Git, we have a video that Mehdi has recorded last year. It's really important for you to follow that because both for your website, personal website, and then for your group work, you're going to be using Git. So that will be part of the thing that you will have to watch. And that is already recorded. It's on YouTube, but we will post a link on Discord and Canvas, and we should be good to go. Let us know if you have any questions early on. The assignments are going to get more hands-on implementation-wise, okay? I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to stop recording.